This is Thenaturalmedic. I'm in New Mexico at the very large array outside of Socorro, New Mexico, which is a radio astronomy area. It's pretty neat. Let's check it out. So at an altitude of 7,000 feet, these radio telescopes, which is what they are, they're very large. They're 82 feet from side to side across. There are, you can see several of them out here in the area. They are configured into different arrays, which makes a huge surface for them to collect radio information from the universe. Let's take a closer look at this one. So one of the questions people probably ask, because they have a panel here that says, why is the VLA so large? VLA being the very large array. Even though these are very large, larger than any optical telescope that is in existence, they don't see the same wavelengths, so they cannot see us clearly. So what happens is you have all these telescopes. There's one or two over there. I don't see any this direction, but there's a couple of them that are out this way. They're all mobile. You can see these railroad tracks. They use very slow-moving locomotives to move these to different locations. Just looking up at this thing, look how massive this thing is. It's huge. But what they can do is they can configure this, if you look here, into 4 different arrays. Array 1, in this particular case, is the D configuration, which is 0.6 miles across. But they can configure it to show funnels of gas on either side of the galaxy. Configuration C is 2 miles across. They can configure it so you can see lobes of the gas. 7, it starts to be blurry, but you can see knots and bubbles in the jet, so you can see more detail. And in the highest resolution, they can put it into the A configuration, which is 22 miles across. So each configuration from the D, C, B, A gets larger, and they have more resolution and more more space that the telescopes can see. Hope that makes sense. But if you look in the valley here, we're on the plains of San Agustin. I'm probably mispronouncing that slightly, but this whole area is lifted up. It's high desert, surrounded by mountains. It's very dry here. It is New Mexico, of course. And the mountains that surround the plains here, they insulate the area, or isolate the area, however you want to phrase it, from interference from radio signals. Because radio signals, even cell phones, you're supposed to turn your cell phone off when you're here, can interfere with the radio signals they receive on these radio telescopes. I'm not sure what configuration they're in right now, and it would be lovely to see them move, but I don't think it's going to happen right now. But how cool is this, just to see this? It's very neat. Pretty windy today, as it is very open plains here, and that's crazy to think about. Now if you look here, as I said, 82 feet across. The aluminum panels are reflective, and they're accurate to 0.5 millimeters, so they can very precisely track radio sources. There's some more configurations there. I'm not an engineer, so I'm not even going to bother to try to understand that. But they have some configurations down here, and we'll take a look into the dish here real quick. Talks about the rail system. So they have 39 miles of track here, specially designated with certain railway vehicles that they have that help them to move these things around. This is so wild. Look up here inside of the dish. Wow. Isn't that crazy? That is amazing. Amazing what we can do as humans build. Of course, course, I was going to ask the guy inside that was the guide, what kind of channels can they pick up on these things? Do you think they get free HBO? I don't know. Behind me, you have the music of the spheres. My guess would be it's representing the wind going across the dishes and the different sounds that it makes. Kind of representation of that. This is an excellent place, y'all. Definitely come check it out if you're ever in the area. So what happens once all these different antennas compile all this data? Inside of this building that I'm standing on the balcony of, they have a supercomputer they built specifically to calculate all this data. It's so fast, it does 16 quadrillion processes per second. One of the fastest computer systems ever built. You can see how large that is. There's a man standing out there by that dish. You can see how large that is compared to a man. And then you can see they're all lined up in a huge configuration over there. Looks like they're building another one over here. They do have a panel here talking about the next generation. The very large array was a generational leap, and the next one is going to be even bigger. They're going to have 263 radio antennas that are here centered in the plains of St. Augustine, and there'll be a radio telescope spanning from Hawaii to the Caribbean, giving it 100 times greater capabilities than what the VLA can currently do. That's amazing. I'm not an astronomer or an engineer, but that's just, I don't even know what to think about that. So what does this all mean? I think things like this can help us determine our place in the universe. Who we are, where we come from, how our planet came into existence. Those are things that humans have always been curious about. And I hope this opened up your curiosity to learn more about this site. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up. Definitely if you're over this area, come check it out. It's pretty easily accessible off of US 60 west of Socorro, New Mexico, which is right on 25 going between El Paso and Albuquerque. If you like content like this, which I'm not always doing astronomical stuff, but this just seemed like a cool place to visit, think about subscribing. If you have questions, comments, etc. Have you ever been here before? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, see you out there on the trail.